last year, even though I was really busy, I was approached by Pearson Educational Publishing to write this book called Muslims in Canada. And the thing is, I was really busy at the time, but I thought, I don't know what the history of Muslims is in Canada. I want to find out too. So what I did was I started researching, and what I found out that Muslims have actually been in Canada probably ever since 1749. Now you gotta read it to find out who these Muslims were. Problem is we don't know much about them. The first official Muslims in Canada are registered in 1851. So we've actually been here for a long time. And a lot of the Muslims, the first Muslims arrived in Alberta, which is really interesting. But the first masjid in Canada is actually in Edmonton, and it was built in, I think, 1938. And that it also talks about the first Muslim who was ever elected to Parliament. And he was elected in Northwest Territories. He's got a fascinating story. And he was married to a native woman. He was a fur trapper. You got to read this book. It's like really, really interesting to find out all these things about Muslims in Canada. Now, in 1962, the government of Canada, they changed their immigration laws to be less racist. And they allowed people of color to come into the country. And in fact, in writing this book, I actually found out that I'm actually part of the history of Muslims in Canada. My family, so 1962, they changed the laws to allow people of color into the country, and we arrived in 1965. When I was about 2 years old, I was almost 3. So I'm actually part of the history of Muslims in Canada. Now, I would highly recommend, it's really interesting, I would highly recommend you read the book, and especially teachers, it would be great for Islamic Heritage Month, which is in October. And it's set at a grade 5 level. And it's published by Pearson Educational. Hope you'll check it out.